Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with your host, Damon the Agent. When I come to you every Friday at 12 noon to talk to you about the latest real estate topics and also what may be trending in the world or just a topic of interest. If you all have any questions, please feel free to send them in while I'm on air. So, first of all, let me just say a happy 18th anniversary to myself. Today is my anniversary in which I became a real estate agent. Back on July 7th, 2005, your host, Damon the Agent, became licensed. So, it's been 18 wonderful years. Of course, in the wonderful world of real estate, it's always up and down. You meet a lot of people, you deal with a lot of situations. But like I always like to say, I'm a problem solver. So I've been solving problems for 18 years. And it's not always easy because many people have tried real estate, but the truth is, real estate has tried many people, and only the strong survive. So, with that being said, let me begin my topic of today's. My topic of today's are the do's and don'ts when buying a home. I'm going to talk about some do's and don'ts when you are purchasing a home. For those who purchase a home, I mean, this is going to be repetitious in which you've heard these things before. And for those of you who are looking to purchase home in the future, these are some things that you should please take into great consideration when it pertains to purchasing a home. So let me begin with some do's. When you're purchasing a home, what you want to do, you know what I'm saying, is you want to review your own personal credit reports first, especially if you have not looked at your credit scores in, let's say, over 6 months, especially in over a year. You want to look at your credit reports because understand that lenders are going to want to pull your credit scores. Those are the things that you want to do. You don't want to focus on what you see on TV, such as HGTV, because HGTV, you have to understand, is a television show. It's very misleading, even though it does give a lot of informative information. A lot of things you see on those TV shows does not apply in the world when you are actually purchasing a home. And you do want to hire a real estate professional. A real estate professional can go over all the things that can explain to you the whole entire process of the home buying process so you can have a clear understanding. And then you can have all of your questions for the real estate professional. That's another thing. Have questions. Have a lot of questions to ask to the lender and also to the real estate agent. The lender and the agent are two separate people. The lender is the one who's going to be dealing with your home loan and is going to be dealing with all the numbers, like what your monthly payment is going to be, how much money you're going to have to bring for closing costs. These are the things that the lenders are going to bring up. Then you should have questions for the lenders, reference to what is going to be specifically your interest rate, because the interest rate you see today doesn't always pertain to a buyer, because a buyer's credit score plays a huge role in what their interest rate is going to be. Also, some of the do not, and I say this, I say this not trying to step on anyone's toes, but please do not listen to all the people who bought homes over 3, 5, 10, 15 years ago. Because what you have to understand is when people buy homes, they buy homes at different times. They buy homes at different places. The rates are different, programs are different, the prices of houses are different. Please do not listen to what your uncle bought and what your uncle did 20 years ago. And then when you listen to your real estate agent, you say, oh, well, my uncle did this. But here's the thing about real estate agents and, let's say, family members. Real estate agents have to go get continuing education class every 2 years to stay updated on what the latest trends and laws are. A lot of times the information that you're getting from your family members when they bought a home is totally outdated. It is like the software in your phone. Matter of fact, it's like your cell phone, period. If you have an iPhone, for example, 14 now, and then you go talk to somebody who has an iPhone 7, you're going to look at them like, okay, you're comparing what? Your 14 to the 7. And not because the phones are the same, but the information and software are totally outdated. It's the same with information in real estate. Please understand that do not listen to everything that people have said when they bought home. You can hear them, but listen to your real estate professional. You can hear them and you can ask those questions to your real estate profession. I wrote down some things, so please forgive me if I'm looking at my notes. What you do want to do also is when you go through the whole process of buying a home and you speak with your realtor and you speak with your lender and you get approved, do not, I repeat, do not purchase anything prior to you buying a home. Do not go purchase furniture. Do not go get a new car. Do not apply for a credit card, because these things are going to affect you purchasing a home. You may say, oh, well, I have A1 credit. I have an 800 credit score. Let me go, get this furniture store credit card and get me some furniture so when I buy my house. But what you don't understand is there's a thing called underwriting. What the underwriters tend to do is they tend to look at all of your expenses. They track and they look and monitor everything. And they just want to make sure that the buyer that they're, approved can stay in that home. So it's nothing wrong with you wanting to get furniture, but it's best to do things after you purchase the home. Do not apply for anything new. Also, what you do want to do, once you see a house of your choice that you feel like you want to move forward, make an offer on, get accepted, you do want to always get a home inspection. Now, I know during the pandemic, a few years, and the housing market went crazy, and there were people making offers, and there were people who were waiving all their contingencies. But I'm not one of those agents that advise that. I actually, none of my clients waived any of their contingency during that time, and there was multiple bids and everything. And what I always told people is, what's meant for you is meant for you. But at the same time, the reason you do want to always get a home inspection is because there are things that the naked cannot see. The home inspector checks out the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical, the roofing. They check out all these things to make sure that you know what you are inheriting when you're getting that property. Understand, you don't just want to get a property and then you have all these issues and all these problems. I was speaking with someone earlier this week, and they were telling me about somebody bought a house for over 200 and something thousand. And when they went in that house, they had all these issues and problems. The first thing I said was, they didn't get a home inspection, did they? And she was like, no, they didn't. And I said, yeah, I knew that, because see, here's the thing. The home inspector would have brought up everything that's wrong with a property. I mean, even if a screw is loose in a door, that's what home inspectors do. They point out every single thing that's wrong. And a lot of times when there's so much issues going on with a property, you got to understand, you don't want to inherit someone else's problem. And sometimes when people sell properties as is, there's nothing wrong with you purchasing a house as is, but you need to get a home inspection for your information purposes. You really do. Also, some of the things that you do want to do, you want to save money if you can prior to buying a house. Now, there are many programs out here to assist buyers, but here's the thing. Everyone doesn't qualify for programs. Regardless, people make much more money today than they did 10, 15 years ago. So the programs today are always income restricted. Understand, you may need some money saved up. Begin to save money. It's always best to have money and not need it than to need money and not have it, especially when it pertains to buying a home. So save money. Those are some of the things that you should do. What you also want to do is you want to send the lenders all the information that they request from you as soon as possible. Because here's the thing. Time always becomes of the essence. Even when people are looking for home, sometimes they'll say, oh, the lender say, send me these documents. And then they go look at houses today and they see a house that they want to make an offer on today, but they had not sent the lender the documents that they requested yesterday. Now the lender can't send over the approval letter because they haven't sent it. So now sometimes people have situations where they have to wait on their job or they have to go look for things. And then guess what? An agent like me called an agent and said, do you have any offer? They said, oh, no, I don't have anything pending. But I had two people who said they was going to send it. The next thing you know is tomorrow, speak to the agent again. They got those two offers in. You still haven't sent the information to the lender. So always try to send the lenders the things that they request as soon as possible, because when you send them things, you know what I'm saying, when you're proactive, you don't have to be reactive. So those are some of the do's and don'ts when it pertains to buying a home. Let me go check out some questions real quick. Okay. All right. Here are some questions that I was asked. Now, here's a question. If there are two properties that someone likes and they want to put a contract on both properties, and whichever one has the best deal, will that person be able to get their earnest money back from the one that she doesn't want? Okay, here's the thing about that. I don't advise that. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some agents who may say, oh, make multiple offers on multiple properties. The reason why I don't advise that is because if you make an offer on more than one property at a time and you get, let's say the one that you really don't want, you get accepted first. And then you see another house that you made the offer on and it gets accepted a day or two later. And you go back and you try to get your earnest money deposit. There's no real way to get, I mean, you can get out of a contract, but here's the thing though. Sometimes sellers will feel like you tied them up and they could have chosen another offer, especially if they had other people interested in their property. So because of that and everything, you have held up that particular seller's property. So now what ends up happening is sellers feel like they have lost money. So because they feel like they lost money, and guess what? You have an earnest money deposit. What ends up happening is they can come after you for your EMD, your earnest money deposit. So here's the thing. When you make these offers, in order to get your earnest money deposit back, you're supposed to sign off on a release. The release allows you to get your money back. You can have some sellers that don't want to sign off on that release because they feel like you wasted their time. So I always say this: when people out there looking at home, make an offer on the home that you really want, because you can only live in one home. What home do you really want? I understand, like, oh, that other house may be gone, but if the other house is gone, you didn't really want that house. So make the offer on the house that you really want. That's like you going on multiple dates and then you can't choose between two people. Sometimes you got to make a decision. Make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Because you only can deal with one house at a time. So just choose that house. I would not advise that. But as far as getting an EMD back, as long as the seller sign off on the release, yes, you can get your earnest money deposit back. But if they don't sign off on the release, then you may have an issue and stuff, because some sellers in some cases will demand the EMD. I've had that in with some of my clients, in which buyers try to pull out for no reason. They didn't do a home inspection, was no financial contingency. They just wanted to pull out and everything. And the sellers felt like they wasted their time and they could have chose another offer. So because of that, sellers felt like I lost money by taking it off the market, because buyers have gone elsewhere. And buyers can also feel that way in that case too. I mean, sellers can always feel that way in that case too. And someone say, if you don't go to closing and you have already paid for a home inspection and the appraisal, is the money refundable, and do you get all the earnest money? Okay, here's the thing. There are some out-of-pocket or out-of-closing expenses that a buyer has to pay. The thing is, though, is buyers have to always pay for their appraisal. Buyers have to always pay for their home inspection. That is non-refundable, because here's the thing. Let's say you make an offer on a property and you do a home inspection. You pay for the home inspection. Let's say the home inspection is $500. And you have all these issues going on with that particular house, and you'll send the information to the sellers to address the issues, and the sellers come back and say, no, we don't want to address the issue. We're selling the house as is. You take it as it is, or you leave it. And then you say, okay, well, I'm not taking this house. And then you go on to the next house and you make another offer. Guess what? You have to pay for another home inspection. Now, here's the good thing about a lot of home inspection companies, especially if the agent has a good relationship with them, or let's say if you yourself, your buyer, they'll give you sometimes, they'll give you a reduced rate on the next home inspection, but it is non-refundable. Just like when you get an appraisal done, it is non-refundable. So that's why, for me, for example, when I have clients who go make offers on something and it gets accepted, the first thing I always tell my clients is the first thing you need to do is get a home inspection. I don't have my clients pay for a home inspection and appraisal at the same time. I wait till after the home inspection phase is completed before I will say, okay, I'll tell the lender you can go ahead and order the appraisal, because let's say, like I just said, there's an issue with the home inspection. Seller don't want to deal with it. Buyers don't want to deal with it, want to move on. They would pay for a home inspection and an appraisal. So for me, I advise them to don't pay for the appraisal, or don't get the appraisal order until after we make sure, after the home inspection, everything is done. So I always tell my buyers that once your offer gets accepted, order the home inspection immediately. Please try not to wait till the weekend. If it's during the weekday, like let's say it gets accepted on Monday, we're not waiting until Friday or Saturday, because anything happen. Try to, we can do it, like especially in the summertime, the days are longer. So because the days are longer, what I'm saying, we can do it like when they get off of work, because it doesn't get dark to what, 8:30, So those are some of the questions and issues when it pertains to are they refundable? No. When you get your earnest money back, your earnest money is always credited towards your down payment. So let me make this clear. Let's say hypothetically you're using an FHA loan, which requires a minimum down payment of 3.5%. Let's say a person who's buying a $500,000 house puts down 2%, $10,000. Okay, when they go to closing, because the minimum down payment was 3.5%, and they put 2% down up front with the EMD, now they only have to pay for the 1.5%, which is the difference from the 2% put down at front, the 1.5% at the end, because the minimum requirement is 3.5%. So the earnest money is given credit towards the down payment when a person is purchasing a home. Let me see about any other questions. If you have any questions, feel free. Let me see. Hey, Tina, how are you? Just text on Facebook. Possible. Hey, Alicia said, plus it's unnecessary extra administrative work that's very time consuming. Yeah, people don't understand the work that we do. That's why I always say, people think real estate is easy because they see us holding the sold sign and everything. But this is what I always tell people when they think it's easy. If it's so easy, how come all those people who used to do real estate are no longer doing real estate? I had one person one time say, "Oh, they do their stuff on a referral basis or something." I don't know, but here's the thing: in any occupation, you can make a lot of money. So why would you do so? A lot of times, people they do so because they're not selling anything, because they realize real estate is not as easy as some people think it is to be. Only the strong survive. I said that in the beginning. Only the strong survive. Okay, so if you have any more questions, please send them in. If not, I am going to go to my next topic. Hold on for 1 second. I'll be back. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me as always. So my other topic of today is deadbeat friends. I know people was thinking deadbeat dads, but I'm talking about deadbeat friends. And I want to talk on this subject for a moment because of the fact I was speaking with a buddy of mine this week, and he's going through a situation where he hasn't seen his kids since last year. And he came to me, we talked about it because I was, I went through similar situations with my kids, especially when my kids were younger. So I was giving him some advice. And excuse me, he shared with me how he couldn't understand the mindset of one of his friends. So I was like, what do you mean? He said his friend told him to just say F those kids. And he was like, nah, man, what do you mean F those kids? Those are my kids. So I shared a story with him that I'm going to share with you all. I remember years ago, my kids are grown now. My son actually about to turn 22 on July 15th. But I remember I was going through some things with their mother, and I was really mentally, had a lot of anxiety going on. I was stressed. I was working all the time. And I recall this guy. He was an older guy, a little bit older than me. So he told me, because he had two sons, I remember, he had gotten remarried with his ex-wife, and his sons, he only sent his child support to them. He didn't have a relationship with his kids, and he got remarried. So he told me, he said, look here, man, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to just pay your child support, Go on with your life. Find you another woman and start a whole new life. And I said to him, what about my kids? He was like, what about them? And I said, and this is what I said to him, and this is the same thing I said to my buddy that I was speaking to. I said, how will my kids feel? How will I feel if I was my kids and I wonder why my father just stopped seeing me, stopped making an effort, stopped doing any and everything? So, needless to say, I stopped speaking to that guy because I felt like that was poor advice. And I found that it's a lot common where a lot of people will say when they're going through hell with their kid's mother, because when they are dealing with a lot, it's easy to walk away. It's easy to say, oh, forget that, go on and live your life. But what you have to understand is you have a responsibility in this world. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not, there are going to be people in your own family that you don't like. Your parents at time, you're not going to like them. Your siblings at time, you're not going to like them. Your own kids sometimes, you're not going to like them. But you owe it as a father to your kids to always make an effort to do right by your kids. And the way that I always looked at things that I challenge a lot of men to do is put yourself in your kids' shoes. And that'll make you think different about a lot of things, because I can't lie. During the times when I was going through a lot, that's what I did. I put myself in my kids' shoes. And then that made me change my mindset as far as what I should do. Because don't get me wrong, as men, we become emotional. We get angry. We're mad at how can this person put me through? Because it always seems like the ones who care for their kids go through the most. It always seems like the ones who want to do for their kids, they get used. The kids get used as a pawn, because some women know that that's the only way that they can hurt a man is through his pocket and with his kids. So they try to hurt him because she's hurt. But when you have friends who are advising you wrongly, especially about your kids, you need to get rid of them friends, because you know what I'm saying. What type of friends are those? Those are frenemies. You know what I'm saying. Your enemies. You know what I'm saying. At least you know which angle they're coming from. But these same people who tell you and advise you, that these will be the same people who turn their back on you. These will be the same people that let you down. You got to understand, when you have friends that advise you wrongly, like when they know you're wrong in doing things in life. I don't care what it is and stuff. When they know you wrong, but they tend to, you know what I'm saying, compliment your bad behavior and encourage your bad behavior. Why is that? Because you have to understand, sometimes people that we think our friends ain't really our friends. Sometimes they want to see you fail. They want to see you do bad and stuff, because it makes them feel good when they're doing better than you. So what I'm saying is, those when you got deadbeat friends, you need to cut them off. I don't care who they are. I don't care how long they've been in your life, because there are a lot of deadbeat friends that we all have experienced, that we've bent over backwards to help, and they haven't lifted a finger for us. We've done so much. Like, sometimes you can have some friends that are so good that they treat you better than your own family. They look out for you better than your own family. You can sometimes have some friends who are so, you know what I'm saying, detrimental to you, that they'll be your downfall, because these will be the same friends that are smiling your face and stab you in your back. These will be the same friends that'll tell you, oh, you shouldn't do this and that. Because here's the thing, as a man, and when you're dealing with kids and when you're going through situations like my friend is going through and like I went through and everything, your kids gonna grow up one day. They're gonna grow up one day. You know what I'm saying? And that's why sometimes you see a lot of older men who they're struggling with their health, they're struggling mentally, and they don't, and their kids are grown, but the kids don't care nothing about them. You understand? See, here's the thing. What you pour into your kids, you'll get back. Regardless of when you get it back, you'll get it back. And then when you are genuine and you're doing right by your kids will see in time. They eventually will see. They may not see right away, but they definitely will see in time. So, you know what I'm saying? Fine. So here's the thing that I always like to say, that when it pertains to friends, get rid of your deadbeat friends, people, because there's too many of them out there that don't want to see you win in the world, that don't want to see you do well. Like I said, when my friend told me about that, I told him to always do right by your kids. Always make an effort for your kids, because your kids will eventually see it one day. And they will, as they get older, their mind starts to develop and they start figuring things out. They'll know who's who, what's what, who tried, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing that kids end up finding out. When you walk away, like that guy told me, like that guy told the other my friend, and your kids become grown and they find out the truth, sometimes your kids end up hating both of y'all, the mother and the father. The mother's for telling lies, the father's for not even making an effort. So is that what you want your legacy to be with your kids? That you never made an effort, that you never showed that you care for them? I mean, here's the thing. If you don't care for yourself, then hey, there's nothing that can be done about anything. But if you love yourself and you care about you, then you should care about your kids, because your kids are an extension of you. And regardless of where your kids are or what they go through, just understand that they will always need you. So as a father, always make the effort for your kids and get rid of your deadbeat friends, especially those who are not supportive, especially those who advise you wrongly. Just like the guy said when he told him, and the guy was like, F those kids. First of all, you saying F my kids. That's what I would have said. You know what I'm saying? That tells you right then he don't care about his own kid. Because some people are so selfish that they can only see themselves. They can't see anybody else. You know, it's terrible to be that way. But then you have friends who are like that as well. You know, you don't need them. So my thing is though is it's like you have to realize that in this world that we live in, you need only good connections around you, people who are going to help you grow, become a better you, people when you are wrong who are going to call you out on your BS, and then people that when they are wrong that you get rid of them. Because again, you can never excel in life, you will never have good luck in life doing wrong by your kids, and you will never grow and do all the things you want when you have so much negativity around you. How can you flourish when you how can you flourish and try to thrive when all you have is weight on your shoulder and back? That's like a bird or eagle trying to fly. It can't go and soar throughout the world and spread its wings when it's carrying so much weight of the world of itself. And sometimes that weight can be your friends. So again, I truly advise you all who have those deadbeat friends to get rid of them. Everybody knows who's a deadbeat. If the people are not elevating you, supporting you, speaking positivity in your life, helping you, and telling you to do what's right, especially when it pertains to your kids, you need to check and evaluate that friendship. So all friendships are not worth it. Sometimes it's better to be by yourself than to have frenemies. You feel me? So I just want to talk about the deadbeat friends. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, again, I want to say happy 18th anniversary to me, because it's 18 years ago today that I got my real estate license, July 7th, 2005. That's when Damon the agent was born. But yes, it's 18 years, y'all. So hey, it's been great. The next 18 years, most likely I'll have my own brokerage and more. Y'all hear that thunderstorm? Wow. And then also I wanted to thank you all for sending in your questions. Thank you all for asking me every week and joining me on Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Life. So let me do a quick recap. First of all, when it pertains to the do's and don'ts of real estate, do always check your credit reports, save money, find a trusted real estate agent as myself. I'm a real estate agent as myself can advise you a trusted lender. Do ask questions to the realtors, also to the lender. Do listen to them. Don't listen to people who bought homes 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago who try to tell you what applies today. Because like I mentioned, it's like having an outdated phone. You have the iPhone 14 or the Galaxy S23, and they are giving you the T-Mobile. They still own the T-Mobile Sidekick or the iPhone 5. They got outdated information while you have new equipment. So it's the same with information. Don't Do get a home inspection always, because a home inspection is for your peace of mind. It is like an insurance. You know what I'm saying? You get insurance not because you want to give them money all the time. It's for your peace of mind. So the same thing when it pertains to a home inspection. Do get a home inspection. And also don't buy anything while you're going through the home buying process. And always listen to your realtor. And then also when it pertains to deadbeat friends, please understand that everybody in your circle, in your life, don't always wish you the best. Everybody don't want to see you do well. So please understand that you got to have some type of discernment and realize who's genuinely there for you, who's using you, and who's there to just ride off of you. But understand there are plenty of deadbeat friends out here. And like I said with my buddy, he was giving poor advice as far as his kids was concerned. But as men, like I said, you got to always do right by your kids. That's the only way you're going to have good luck in this world. That's the only way that your kids are going to really know that you, as their father, really care for them. Because sometimes it's hard when you're not in the same household to, you know what I'm saying, for your kids to know. But sometimes they find out and know by your efforts. You know what I'm saying? Nothing beats a failure but a try, and nothing is going to help you to establish what you want from your kids and your relationship except the effort that you put forth in it. So I wanted to share that again. And I want to thank you all for joining me. Next week, I am going to be giving you all the 10 reasons why you all should use Damon the Agent. I did it on one of my, I think, Instagram or TikTok or something like that, but someone asked me about it early this morning. So I'm going to bring the 10 reasons to you all, and I'm going to break it down. So I thank you all for joining me. And also, if you have any real estate questions, please feel free to always ask me. You can always call or text me anytime that you need to, you want to. I'm always available. My phone number is right there, 202-618-1382. Call or text. And my website is always DamonTheAgent.com. Please follow me on all social media platforms. I'm trying to come live on TikTok, but I got to get 1,000 followers. So I'm at 600 and something right now. And my Instagram, I have not been on the past couple of days because they have me temporarily blocked for some reason, but I do plan on being on next week. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I thank you all for joining me every Friday at 12 noon for Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with Damon the Agent. See you next week.